Oh, my name's Ricky. Oh, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a magician. Really? Show us a trick. It is the ultimate, superpower. I love it. The thing about being a magician is... Okay, we are live. We are live right now. Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Ricky2ra Podcast, episode 73. Guys, we're doing very well. We're 13 episodes in to this rebirth of the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, shout out to you. I'm in the same jacket as last week because it is freezing here in England. We had a bit of snow, but yeah, that's why I'm in the jacket again. It's freezing here in the shop with all the fridges on, so that's why I'm not really rocking the hoodies. Well, I am, but the jacket's over it, so it will come back as soon as the weather warms up. But you guys have come here for this topic here today because I made a video last time of a particular, what's it like, the truth, I believe it's called, the truth of being a magician, and I basically told the back end of that, basically practice and all sorts. If you haven't checked that out, please check that out. But today's topic, guys, is the front end to that episode, and it is what it's really like being a magician. And what I mean by that is being a magician in just day-to-day life, even if you're not a pro magician, like a working magician, you just like it as a hobby, or if you are a professional magician, and this could be somebody that's worldwide, local, I'm not excluding anybody from here, a stage magician or just whatever, right? This is really just in any category for any magician, just what it's like being a magician, because magicians, we just kind of just go with the flow, we just rock with it, if you know what I mean. For those that don't know what I mean, it's like we're a bit different to other entertainers. We're not really compared to any other entertainer, maybe comedians in a entertaining stage presence way, or how you handle a crowd. But really, you can't really get a comedian. Let me say, for example, because my example is going to make everything a lot clearer. So let's say you're a comedian and you're at an event, you're just socialising, somebody goes to you, "Hi, how you doing? My name's X." And you go, "Oh, hi, my name's Y, what do you do for a living?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm a comedian." Now, in that scenario, you're obviously going to go, "Oh, that's cool. Where do you perform, this and that?" You're not going to say, "Oh, that's cool, tell us a joke, tell us a set, tell us your best." Maybe that would kind of work, but it wouldn't work in the moment, if you know what I mean. Whereas, "Hi, what's your name?" "Oh, my name's Ricky." "Oh, what do you do for a living?" "Oh, I'm a magician." "Really? Show us a trick." And it would work for a magician because you literally can do, especially if you got your pack of cards on you. If you haven't seen my last episode, How to Learn Magic, all about the pack of cards. But yeah, especially if you got your pack of cards on, you can literally just show anybody magic at any time. And that is really what it's like being a magician. It's like a superpower. Don't get all childish on me now for this example, but it's kind of like Power Rangers, man. Who remembers Power Rangers? I'm only going to use it for this example, and I'm not going to speak about it ever again. But back in the day, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I don't know if you're too young, if you're listening to this, you don't even know what I'm talking about. But they had the morphers on them. It's kind of like, "Yo, what you do?" "I do magic." "Show us a trick." And it's to me, it's it's morphin time. I don't think that at all. It was just the example for the podcast. Honestly, everyone's going to think now that I'm going to do that. You never know. I might bring that into the set now. It's morphin time. I literally just thought of that at the top of the dome right there. But anyway, basically the point is, magicians, we can perform anytime, anywhere, any place, and it's a superpower really, and it's very different to any other entertaining profession. I can't think of any other profession where it's "Oh, show us something now," without it being like a magician. Maybe there is something, I just can't think of anything from the top of my head. But you have the freedom as a magician to show anyone magic. And that's just the beautiful thing about it. Nobody even has to ask you, right? If you're a magician, you can literally go up to anybody. Let's say you're just walking and you just see this like beautiful girl and you're like, oh man. And this is where confidence comes in as well. It's like, oh man, bro, man, I really like her, man. You know what, let me show her a trick. Hey, how you doing? My name's Ricky. Do me a favour, think of a card, don't say it. You know what I mean? You can go, like, it is the ultimate, like, superpower. Like, I love it. I'm so glad that, you know, even though I've said in the past very, very early day podcast episodes, oh, I'd love to be a rapper, I'd love to be a producer, I'd love to be maybe some sort of comedian. I just don't think they have the same effect as magic. Now, something has popped in my head. Maybe like if you're like a rapper or something, you can rap on the spot or something like that, or maybe sing on the spot. But I don't think it has that same spark as magic, because if you're a rapper producer, yes, you can rap on the spot and stuff, but if you want that ultimate like song or rap, I feel like it needs to have backing music and everything, and like everything, the vocals recorded and stuff, to get that full spark out of it. Whereas with magic, you can get that full spark just there in front of you, especially if you're a close-up magician as well, because that's your set basically. If you're a close-up magician, your whole set is literally flexible. It can be done at any time, like I said, any place, anywhere. Honestly, it's probably the best superpower in my opinion to have. And like I said before, if you're going up to somebody, even nobody has to ask you, even if you go up to somebody, it's the ultimate, like the ultimate icebreaker. Like, come on, like this is why, like when I did gigs, that's why mainly people book me for weddings and stuff, and for just magicians as a whole. You know, what it's like being a magician, you're an icebreaker, man. You can literally, like for me, I can be in a room with nobody that I know, and I can show them magic, and I can get to know them, and they can get to know each other just because they've interacted in the magic which I have presented in front of them. It's such a beautiful thing. And I don't use the word beautiful that often, and I should, because it's a beautiful word. But that is the beautiful thing about magic. It's something just different. It's something different. And even here in Leeds, I don't really see many magicians working events. And I really want to see more, because the power that magicians have on an event is unbelievable. But that is a different episode. But being a magician, you know, apart from the practice and, you know, the hard work and dedication you've got to put into it, if you've done that, it's actually pretty cool. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get a bit bored, or maybe like, oh God, he's going to ask me for a treat. Like, especially like sometimes, like if you're away, you know, with the boys, or you haven't seen family in a long time, you just want to chill out. Maybe like say, oh, show us a trick, you can't be arsed, but you've got to. I feel like that pushes you as a magician, but it's kind of like, it's just a superpower. I can't explain it in any other way. I'm trying to just tell you guys from my opinion that being a magician is not for everybody. Like, not everybody wants to be an entertainer, right? But it's just something that kind of surprises a lot of people, because personally for me, I don't look, from what people tell me, I don't really look like a magician. Obviously, you guys watching on YouTube, you probably, I'm in a shop, so that's probably the last thing you'd associate with me being a magician. But it's a great opener for me, especially if somebody doesn't believe me. They're like, oh, you're having a laugh, aren't you? You know, like, oh, you're not a magician, are you? And then when I pull out the pack of cards, it kind of hits in reality, like, oh God, this guy's got a pack of cards on him. And then when I just do like a little riffle shuffle, or like just a shuffle of cards, they're like, oh God, oh God damn, he's the shit. So yeah. And the most important thing, I would say, about having this superpower. I'm going to call it I'm going to name something like in the future in a video like it's your superpower. The thing about being a magician is it's something that stays with you for life. I think if you've been dedicated to the craft for such a long time and you kind of drift away from it, I don't think you lose that ability. I just think that superpower fades slowly. It doesn't 100% remove from your system. Like, it doesn't exit your system. It's there, just in the back of your subconscious. So let's say if I stop magic today, I believe a year from now, even if I stopped a year of magic, I believe it would still be there. I would just be rusty as fuck. That's all. Maybe I might have a few confidence issues going up to someone, but I feel like if I go through the first 2 people, or let's say I've had a year off, maybe if I go through the first 5 people, 6 people, I think I'd be alright. Because I know I'd have nothing to lose, just from my opinion. But getting back to my point, that's the point. It will stick with you forever. I feel like if you drop me in a desert with a pack of playing cards, I would still practice to this, like, forever, till I die. And I don't see myself stopping magic. And that's the beautiful thing about loving something. Starting off being a hobby and just turns into your purpose and your life's purpose. Your life's task. But before I get onto life's task, because this is something that I've just discovered recently about life task, I want to set up a little story just beforehand, before I get into your life's task. Magic, it can get you out of situations, and you might have heard a few stories from famous magicians talking about how magic got them out of situations. I have one particular story that I have never told ever online about a particular story, how it got me out of a situation. Now, it's to me it's a funny story, and you guys can judge it whether or not. I feel like I'm cool to say this story. So we're taking it back maybe about 6 years, 7 years ago now, and I was doing gigs and stuff like that, and I think I'd gone to Roxy Ballroom in Leeds. So this was like on a night, and I was in there and it was packed. It was busy. I think it was like a Friday, Saturday night, something like that. And I literally just went to the toilet. So I go upstairs, I go into the men's toilet, and I'm there doing my thing. And do you know how, like, in the toilets after a certain time, do you have them people there that kind of like help you put aftershave on, help you wash your hands, give you paper towels and stuff? Do you know them man there? So yeah, I'm there, I've done, and he's like there, he was like, paper towels? I'm like, no, I'm good. And he's like, you want some spray? I'm like, brother, I'm good. But I think what the key was, is I think he helped me put soap on my hand. It was one of them situations I couldn't get out of, and he helped me put soap on my hand, and I washed my hand, and I think he actually did give me a paper towel, and I clean my hands and I go, thank you, and he goes, okay brother, and he just literally goes like that. I'm like, shit man, this guy wants a tip. So I look in my wallet and I have no money whatsoever, and I'm looking at him and he's looking at me, he's like, brother, you better, I helped you out. And I'm like, shit. And this is in the middle of the men's toilet in Roxy's in Leeds. And I'm like, what do I do? And my first instinct was, you know what, let me show this guy a magic trick. And basically I whip out my pack of cards, and this guy's like, what the fuck is he doing? And literally I go out and I'll be like, you like magic? He's like, no, I don't. And I was like, here. And literally, I'm not even messing about. There was a guy having a piss, and he went, yeah, I like magic. So he came round, he washed his hands and stuff, he took a card out, and then I told the dude to take a card out, showed him some magic basically. I blew his mind, and the guy had no idea what to do. Like, the guy that were asking me for money, he had no idea what to do at all. I was like, alright man, you have a nice night. I let him keep the card, and I bounced. I went before this guy starts asking me for money again. So yeah, magic can get you out of some situations, man. I hope you like that story, guys. Yeah, that's a story that sticks into my memory of getting me out of a situation that I wasn't sure how else I would got out of, because at that time I didn't really like saying no. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that story, guys. Now, being a magician, you know, you get to know more about yourself as a person. Meaning, if I didn't do magic, if I never discovered magic, I would feel like there's something empty inside of me that I haven't filled. Meaning, I haven't tried enough things in order to find that missing piece. Now, I'm very lucky to have found magic at an early age. And I've recently discovered this. I followed this man for a very, very long time. He's called Robert Greene. And he has a book which I am still to read, but I've read snippets here and there. And it's called Mastery. And he talks about something called your life's task. And that resonated with me, because basically what he was saying was, you know, you've got to try a load of things in order to feel like what's more to you and what you kind of are drawn to. And everything that he was saying was just pointing for magic to me. And he was saying, you know, you don't have to go down one particular path. You can carve your own path from different aspects of things that you like to create something. And I totally resonated with that. And being a magician, I feel like having that piece of the puzzle already set for me, it makes you know yourself even more. That you're doing something, you're on the right path. It's kind of, how do you project that and share it with the world? And I feel like the more you know yourself, the more you share that. I know it's simple as it sounds, but not a lot of people know that. I struggle with that, even knowing that I'm a magician. I struggled with, how am I going to project that to show people? As stupid as that sounds, so it's like, oh, Ricky, you're a magician, just show somebody a card trick. It was a bit more difficult for me, you know, but I totally resonate with that from what he said, and I feel like that's helped me a lot more, realising who I am as a magician and what I actually can do and the impact that I can have, maybe on one person too, or maybe the world, who knows. Guys, I've got a couple of points left, but before I dive into them, I just want to say I appreciate every single one of you. Please like, subscribe, comment on the YouTube channel or on the podcast. I really appreciate it. And this is just something that I like doing, something very fun for me to do. I really enjoy being here in the shop, even though I'm freezing my ass off for you guys being in here. I love doing stuff like this. So I hope anything that I've done in the podcast, in the previous episodes, or maybe in this one, that's helped you, possibly. Let me know by leaving a like or subscribing. And yeah, let's just dive straight into these last couple of points. So I've said knowing about yourself as a person, but I feel like you find your style over time, and I have talked about this previously in the past few episodes. Finding your style. Who are you as a person? Because for me, I felt like I was a little bit funny and sarcastic, and I just liked engaging with people. But the thing about me is I didn't realise how to engage with people until I started working in here in the shop. So I felt like that determined who I was going to be as a magician. I'm more of the sociable magician. I like to interact with as many people as possible, and I like to just engage, know a little about them. And I feel like for me, I especially learned this from the shop, that I like to know a lot more about people so I can get them more the shield down during the magic. Because I feel like just being a magician, you've got to have a certain way to deal with people, because everybody's different, and if you don't deal with them in a particular way that they're comfortable with, the magic won't project as much as you'd like to. And I've learned that in the past as well, because when I first started out as a magician, I wanted to be like Dynamo, so I was a little bit serious, and I used to copy the Dynamo shuffle, and I was kind of like a robot. at the start of my magic performing career. But as the years went on, I started to find myself and be like, you know what, I like this. I like engaging with more people. I like knowing a little bit more about people. I like showing them magic that maybe can, something a bit different that can amaze them in a way as well, in my own style. So being a magician, you've always got to recreate yourself. And that's probably one of the most important things, what it's like being a magician, because you get bored of it as a performer. I'm not going to lie to you guys, you get bored of it. I get bored of it. Sometimes I get bored performing the same magic effect over and over again. But you've got to remember that you're showing somebody new each time, so that's a new experience for them, but the same experience for you. And that's the most important thing. Like I said, it draws back to having a superpower. As the great Ben Parker said, with great power becomes great responsibility. And I feel like that is very, very important with being a magician, because you can hold somebody's emotion in your hand and they don't even know it. And that is such a powerful thing to say, but I 100% believe that you can do that as a magician. You can work a room, you can work someone's emotion and kind of steer the way that the magic's going to go and the way that they're going to perhaps react to it. Guys, I'm going to say the last point, and the last point I feel like is probably the most important point, because you will not know this until it happens. And this will help you progress as a magician a lot faster. So basically what it's like being a magician is you get all the good stuff, but sometimes you don't get all the bad stuff, meaning feedback. Whether that feedback's good or not. Now for me, I get a lot of people saying I'm good. I don't really get a lot of people saying I'm bad. However, good constructive criticism is the best. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the best magician in the world, but I'm not saying I'm the worst magician in the world. I know who I am as a performer. And what it's like being a magician is you've got to balance both things out, and you can't have a huge ego, but you can't have low confidence. You've got to block out all the noise and know who you are as a performer. And I feel like that's probably one of the best things about being a magician, is because you hear so much things, and this counts to any performer, but as a magician you can hear so many things, but at the end of the day you've got to stay focused and in your own position, where you kind of take everything on board, but you kind of throw it back out there and know where you've gone wrong or where you've gone right, or how you can improve and become better as a magician or as a performer. I feel like that's probably the key thing about being a magician. You've always got to keep improving, and like I said previously, you've always got to keep recreating. Well guys, I've really enjoyed that episode. I don't think I'm going to talk more about being a magician unless you guys have any questions. I feel like I've covered everything really. I even talked last week in how to learn magic. But yeah, guys, listen, if you've enjoyed this, please hit a like, subscribe, rate the podcast if you're listening. I really appreciate that. And yeah, Christmas soon come, guys. I hope you, if I don't say it in any of my other podcast episodes, I hope you guys have a great Christmas. And I'm sure I will remember, but if I do forget somehow in the next few weeks, you heard it here first. But yeah, guys, I'm going to sign out. I'm going to see what else I can talk about on the magic level. My brain's working now because I feel like I've covered majority of stuff in my YouTube podcast videos. However, I'm sure there always is something else. But guys, if you made it this far, please pat yourselves on the back. I'm so glad that you've listened this far, and I know I will see you guys next week. So guys, this has been your boy Ricky2ra. Peace, stay strong, and remember always, follow your dreams.